Let's cut the crap, guys. If you clicked on this video, I'm sure you are not getting enough sleep, or you are about to have a baby and you want to make sure you're getting enough sleep. Here's the good thing to note is that kids actually do need and want sleep. You really just need to train yourself, not the kids. We're not doing kids sleep training. We're doing parent sleep training, okay? Stick with me here. I do want to say at the beginning, this is not a cry it out method. I did use the Folgers method, kind of a abbreviated version of it, but this is going to start at the very beginning, and then I'm going to go and tell you some stuff that you can do if, you don't have a newborn, basically. Let me give you some background information for both of my first two kids, or both of my kids. They both slept through the night at 6 weeks. Did I sleep through the night at 6 weeks? Absolutely not. But they slept through the night. What is sleeping through the night at that age? I think they went to bed at 10 and then they woke up at 5. So it was like a very long stretch. It was very nice. And with my second one that I breastfed, he ended up starting to wake up in the middle of the night at around like 10 weeks, like right before my milk settled. And then once my milk did settle, I think like 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, something like that, then he started sleeping through the night again. So don't worry, I'm going to tell you if you're breastfeeding, pumping, or formula, because let me tell you, I did them all. But let's start from day one of you bringing your newborn back to the house to month 3, okay? During this time, obviously, you can't sleep train them, okay? You can't do that. If they wake up in the middle of the night and they are hungry, you need to fix that, okay? All I'm asking you to do is a pause. Okay, why? Newborns make a lot of sounds, okay? And a lot of times they'll kind of wake up, I don't want to say fuss, but they'll make these little noises that aren't crying, and then they'll go back to sleep. If you let them go back to sleep. If you do not, if you say, oh, they're already awake, I'm already awake, I'll just go ahead and feed them, they will start waking up at that time, okay? I don't know why, but that is what's going to happen. So if your baby is waking up multiple times during the night, that doesn't necessarily mean I don't want to say it's, but he or her, it doesn't mean they're hungry. They're waking up because this is a new environment, okay? So all I'm asking you to do is, you are probably going to know, at least I woke up before my baby woke up. Like I could just feel that they were about to wake up. And in that moment, instead of immediately getting the bottle ready, just waiting for them to wake up, okay? Instead, I just want you to lay back and wait and wait. And if they're making little noises, little fussing, just, little, or whatever, then don't touch them, okay? Wait until they actually start to cry, a full-blown cry, okay? And like I said, I want you to stick with me here. Once they are crying, go ahead and do whatever you need to do. So let's say you're breastfeeding. All of a sudden, your baby starts full-on crying. Like it is actually crying, not whimpering, not fussing, an actual cry. What you're gonna do is you're gonna not pick them up yet. Go ahead, take your boob out, whatever. Get your covers just for like 30 seconds. Give it like 30 seconds so that it is not the second they start crying that you pick them up. I'm telling you, like, I'm not saying to wait 5 minutes, literally just a few seconds, okay? What I used to do most of the time is once they started crying, I would go pee right before I fed them because I knew they were going to be on me for, 10, 20 minutes. So I would just run to the restroom real quick, pee, it was literally less than a minute. And then I would come and get them, okay? When I was pumping, I would go ahead and get my pumps on and get a bottle fixed, okay? When I was doing formula, I would do the same thing. I would fix the bottle once they started crying. I would not do it before. This little pause, I know it seems so insignificant and so dumb, but it really is the key to everything. Because number one, you're making sure that they are actually completely awake, okay? They are actually crying, because sometimes they like make these weird noises and then they go right back to sleep if you let them. But if you get them up every time, they're gonna be up all night. Half the time they're making these noises and they're not even awake. So don't wake them up. Like, make sure they are crying, okay? I also always moved back to the bassinet during naps, during everything. I kept moving back to the bassinet. Now with my second, he during the day would not sleep anywhere but on me. And it was really annoying, because literally every time he would fall asleep on me or me holding them, and I would transfer him to the bassinet, and 2 minutes later he would be awake, okay? And so I'd have to wait again. He fell asleep, put him back in the bassinet. It makes your life so much easier down the road. I tried to make sure that he was always waking up in the bassinet. And like, obviously you want to hold them and snuggle them, and I would do that, but I would just always try to make sure they woke up in the bassinet, if that makes sense. And I'm not here to like judge co-sleep or anything. I always had a really high bed, so that terrified me. So I always did the bassinet, but at least during the day, I would really try to get them used to sleeping in their own bed, okay? Just, it helps down the road. I also did time their naps during the day, because you want the long stretch of sleep to be at night. So literally, I can't, you'll have to look up like what, like the longest a newborn should nap. I think it's like 2 or 2.5 hours, something like that. I would wake them up every time at that point. Because you do, I know it's like during the day, you're like, oh, this is so nice, I can get so much done. But you really want, like, your sleep is so important to your mental well-being, so that comes first. I also really recommend, I really like the Hatch light, which has the red light. That was the only one that I turned on, because red light doesn't wake you up as much. Like, even when I was in the Navy, they had red lights on all the time, because I don't know why. Something with like your eyes, it doesn't make you wake up. So definitely, if you're going to use any kind of light at night, make sure it's a red light. I also did whatever schedule that you want your baby to be on. So let's say you want them to sleep like ideally 10 to 7. Okay, obviously when they're 3 days old, they are not going to sleep from 10 to 7, but like that would be your ideal thing. From 10 to 7, lights are off, okay? But from 7 to 10, 7 to 9:30, lights are on, okay? I don't care if they're sleeping. I don't care. Those lights are on. Sound is on, okay? Make noise. Do not make it a silent freaking place, guys. They can sleep through it if they are used to it. You better vacuum. You better blend your smoothies. You better keep the TV on. Like, you make the house so freaking noisy from that time, okay? If you have toddlers, this will be really easy. If you have like multiple kids, this will be really easy, because they're gonna make a hell of a lot of noise, okay? They will learn to sleep through it, do not worry, but you've got to start them from the beginning. Okay, let's move on from once you can start sleep training. So I start at 4 months exactly, or like it was like probably a week before they turn 4 months usually. So 4 months to about 6 months. This is the ideal time. I don't want to say sleep training, because I don't even feel like it's like that. But this is really the crunch time. Once you get a little past 6 months, it's a lot harder to do. And obviously before that, that's like unfair. You can't do that. So this is the crunch time. This is exactly how I did it, basically. I, number one, looked up, for whatever age they were, a sample schedule for them. I can't remember. It's like the first one that comes up. There's a bunch, but find a sample schedule for 3 or 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever age they are, and try as hard as you can to follow it, okay? Especially with nap, because it gives you like the nap and nighttime routine or whatever. Try to do that, okay? Because from like 4 to 6 months, they're transitioning a lot. So the 4-month schedule to the 6-month schedule, very different. So just make sure you're kind of following those. And every month I would like re-look on one up. Okay. Anyway, so at whatever time it tells you to take their nap, go put them in the bed. And then I want you to look up the Folgers method chart. So it's basically going to give you a how long to wait in between. So let's say day 1, you go to put your baby down at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you put them down, you walk out of the room, they're going to probably start crying. It'll give you a time. So let's say it's 2 minutes. You're going to wait 2 minutes. You're going to go back in there, comfort them, put them back down, walk out. It's going to give you a second time. Let's say it's 3 minutes. So you're going to go 2 minutes letting them cry, come and get them. 3 minutes letting them cry, go back in there. And then I think it goes up to 5 minutes, the like first day or whatever. So you're going to wait 5 minutes, let them cry, go comfort them. And then you go back out 5 minutes, whatever. You're going to keep doing that 5 minutes for up to 30 minutes. Does that make sense? So you're going to start with the 2 minutes, go back in, comfort them, wait 3 minutes, go back in, comfort them, wait 5 minutes, go back in, comfort them. Keep doing it until 30 minutes has passed. If 30 minutes has passed and they still have not fallen asleep, settled down, whatever, then just take them, skip that nap. Wait until they start to show signs of being tired, and then you're going to do it again. This is not cry it out, okay? They are getting comforted by you. You are coming in and comforting them, settling them down, okay? So they are learning that you are going to come to get them, okay? Kids need sleep. It is important. I know when you hear your baby crying, especially when you're postpartum, it is like, it's so stressful. But you have to remember, healthy sleep sets them up for success. And guess what? You getting healthy sleep sets you up for success. And that is important, okay? You cannot pour from an empty cup, so do not feel guilty about it, okay? So I did the Folgers method, but I never waited more than, like, I never let them cry more than 10 minutes. And I make sure you're not saying, oh, I feel like a minute's passed. Okay, I'm going to go back in there. Set a freaking timer. Go somewhere where you can't hear them. Go set a timer for 2 minutes. Don't even listen to it, okay? That's really what I recommend. Set that timer for 2 minutes. Go walk outside. Come back in after 2 minutes. See if they're crying, okay? Especially once you start to get to 10 minutes, okay? It's not great to hear. But usually, honestly, I don't even know if mine ever cried for it works really well, okay? So that's what I do. Like I said, I never let it go longer than 30 minutes. So in that case, you go back in after 10 minutes, you comfort them, go back out another 10 minutes, and then I'd be like, okay, there's probably about 5 minutes left before it hits 30 minutes. So I'd let them go, and that was it. Another thing is, do not go in there to comfort them just because they're awake if they are not crying. So if you can hear them kind of like just shifting around, doing their little thing, do not go in there. Only if they are crying. Okay, and if they fall asleep on you, that's totally fine. But just go and put them in their bassinet. Go and put them in their crib, okay? You've got to, I hate saying sleep train, like I said. You're really just teaching independence and that they are okay. So if let's say you miss that 4 to 6 months and you have an 8-month-old baby, I would still try this same approach. I would look up a schedule and then try the Folgers method. But like I said, I only go up to 10 minutes. That's just me. and then I only try it for about 30 minutes, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Now, once your child is over 12 months, I do think it is way harder, especially if they've been sleeping in your bed, how to transition. I'm just going to tell you, I have never tried this, but this is what I would personally do. I would put them in their own bed, and I would sit right beside the bed without a phone. So either with a book, my Kindle, something that does not have a light. So don't use your laptop, don't use your phone. I would sit there with them, and I would hold their hand, whatever, and wait till they fell asleep, and then leave. And then the next night, I would sit a little farther away, do the same thing until I was out the door. And then, just try to leave them in there. If they got out of bed, I would give them probably one warning. Nope, we are going to sleep right now. Put them back into bed. And then the rest of the time, I would not make eye contact with them, nothing, except for putting them back to bed. That is what I would do, personally. Would that work? I don't know, because like I said, both of my kids, they go to sleep very well, but that's definitely what I would try. I am also going to give you another tip, and that is this is especially from like 6 months to 12 months, if you have a baby monitor. I would not go get them in the morning until they started to cry. I would wait. I could hear them rustling around quite a bit. But usually, even when when he was 8, 9 months old, he would wake up at 7, but he would chill in there until about 8:30. He would just hang out. So I never went and got him until he cried. And then my other one, my second baby, he was a little more, he wasn't as independent. So, usually probably 15 minutes after he woke up, he would usually start crying. So I would go and get them. And like I said, I don't let them cry, obviously longer than 10 minutes, but at that point, if they had slept through the night, obviously, I would just immediately go get them. I didn't really do Folger's method at night. I always just did the pause. I would give it, 30 seconds to a minute and then go get them, just because I'm not sleep training them in the middle of the night. I hope this helps. I just wanted to say you're not a bad mom. Whatever. If you can't deal with them crying and you let them sleep in your bed with you until they're, 10 years old, you're not a bad mom for it. It's very hard to hear them cry, especially postpartum. I really don't like the cry it out method. I don't think it's fair. So I won't really take up for that one. I think if you wanted to do even shorter, if you didn't want to let them cry past 6 minutes, whatever, I think that's totally fair. I don't know. This really helped me though, and I have really great sleepers, but I can definitely tell you, with my 2 kids being very different, it is something that was learned. It was not a natural thing. So, a lot of times when people say, I can't get them to sleep or whatever, I want to be try these things, and then I do, and they're like, no, that wouldn't work. So, I at least would ask you to try these methods out before saying your child doesn't sleep at all. I think a lot of times your mindset and your, I don't want to say vibe, but your vibes do kind of impact things. For example, I'll tell you where I thought potty training was going to be the hardest thing ever. And guess what? It was. I could not do it. I kept failing. And then I gave it a little bit, and I literally just sat there, and I was like, no, I am going to have a better mindset for this. And I was like, potty training is easy. Potty training is natural. They naturally want to do this. I kept repeating that to myself. And guess what? I did the exact same thing that I did the other time. And it worked out great. Obviously, maybe he was more ready for it, whatever. But I think a lot of it had to do with me not being as tense about it. I was like, whatever happens, happens. We are going to be potty training, and that's the final thing. So with this, go into the mindset that sleeping is natural. They want to sleep. They want to get a good amount of sleep. You are just teaching them how to. It's not sleep training, it's sleep teaching. You're teaching them what to do. Okay, that is all you're doing. It is freaking natural. They want to do it. And you are going to do great, okay? Even in the hard moments, you are going to do great. You've got this. I hope this video really helps you. Let me know if you have any questions down below.